Oh, goody.
Alright, what's up everybody? It is Zombies here again, and today we have some Mercenaries updates that just hit the game in the most recent patch this past Tuesday. The one that added the new pre-orders and skins and all that stuff for the new expansion, which is coming on the 7th, I believe, of December. Fractured in Alterac Valley. Really cool, looks really fun. I'm excited to see what they do with that, and I anticipate we will be getting a bunch of new mercenaries along with the release of that, much like we got in the most recent mini set. And I'm sure it's probably going to be more than we got in the mini set because it's like a full set release instead of just a handful of cards like in the mini set. But anyways, in this most recent patch, we did have some updates for mercenaries. There were actually a total of 13 mercenaries in total that were adjusted, and these were all buffs, so no nerfs, strictly buffs here, which is honestly kind of what I expected with a mode like Mercenaries. It is kind of difficult, I believe, to nerf things in this mode, where yes, they can do it, but I believe they've already kind of said the only time they really want to do a specific nerf would be if it's something is just really blatantly overpowered and kind of not allowing any other strategies to see play, and I don't think that's where we are in the current meta. Yes, there are definitely builds that feel very powerful and very strong, but I don't think there's one end-all, be-all, beat-all build right now, and it is kind of difficult to do changes to mercenaries, at least nerfs in my opinion, because it takes a long time to grind up your mercenary, and unlike with constructed, where when a card gets nerfed you can just disenchant it for its crafting value, even if they did implement a change like that into mercenaries where you could get your coins back for it, there wouldn't really be a point to it because you can't do anything with those coins outside of using them for that specific mercenary. So this is kind of the approach I expected them to go with, because you don't have to provide any kind of refunds on buffs, and it's just a nice way to make some characters see a bit more play than they ended up doing in the initial kind of meta that formed. So I'm just going to go through all these here. Generally, I'm pretty happy with all these changes. I'm not going to go super in depth on them here, just briefly go over them, because we're going to be talking more about these tomorrow. Actually, we're going to, hopefully, if there are no technical hiccups or anything like that, tomorrow's going to be the first episode of our Mercenaries podcast that I'm going to be doing with 2 other members of the community. So that should be a lot of fun. Definitely put in a lot of planning into that, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely, if you want to hear more about these changes, maybe a little bit more in depth in terms of our thoughts, definitely check that out tomorrow. But yeah, so taking a look at the updates here, first mercenary we got is Cario Rome. So old, 10 attack, 67 health, and new, 10 attack, 73 health. This is just a flat buff of 6 HP, and I believe it is important to note that these are their non-maxed out stats. So basically, Cario would have, if you fully max her out, 11 attack and 78 health, I believe, if I'm understanding that correctly. So yeah, not the most like interesting buff or anything, but definitely not a bad one. Maybe it'll make Cario see a bit more play, because unfortunately outside of like the first launch week, definitely haven't been seeing that much of her, just because Mukla is such a popular taunt unit that occupies that protector role. Then we have another Romaine here in Cornelius. So Cornelius got some more substantial buffs. Hold the front, old version used to be speed 3, or no, old version used to be speed 4 with 1 cooldown. Now it has been upgraded to speed 2, so cut the speed in half, and 0 cooldown. 0 cooldown's really big. I think that's just a really substantial change, so that's nice to see. And then Blessing of Sacrifice, old version, speed 3, new version, up to speed 2. Then we have Grommash, the kind of the fake legendary, as a few people have liked to call him, because he's the only legendary without a diamond portrait. But he got some speed buffs as well. So Staggering Slam went from 4 speed to 2 speed, and Battle Fury went from 9 speed to 6 speed. Then we have everyone's favorite Demon Lord in Jaraxxus. Fist of Jaraxxus got a nice buff. The old version used to be speed 6, deal 12 damage to a random enemy, and repeat for each of your other demons. Now the new version, speed 4, deal 15 damage to a random enemy, repeat for each of your other demons. And then Fell Infernal went from speed 5, cooldown 1 to speed 4, cooldown 0. So that's kind of cool. It makes him more like the original Jaraxxus hero card, where you can kind of spam Infernals. I like that a lot. Then we have Varian Rin. So Retaliation went from cooldown 1 to cooldown 0. Oh, I guess this is both... I guess these are both changes to Retaliation. It's just weird that the way they formatted it, but that's fine. So yeah, it went from cooldown 1 to 0, and rank 5 of it, after an enemy attacks this turn, attack it. Now it is after an enemy attacks this turn, gain +5 attack and attack it. Then we have what might be my favorite buff here in Illidan. So Illidan got a stat buff, went from 9 attack and 69 health at level 30 to 12 attack and 74 health. So it's a pretty substantial buff, if you ask me. 3 more attack and 5 more health. Definitely really important for a character like him. It's doing a lot of like physical damage. Blade Dance went from cooldown 2 to cooldown 1. And the equipment, Demon Shroud, went from take 5 less damage while attacking to take 10 less damage while attacking. Then we have some Murlocs here that also got some love with Mutanus. His Scaly Taunt went from gain Taunt and take 3 less damage this turn to gain Taunt and take 5 less damage this turn. And then Iridescent Necklace went from Scaly Taunt makes this Merc take 3 less damage this turn to Scaly Taunt makes this Merc take 3 less damage and is immune to critical damage this turn. So that's a pretty big change. Old Mercide, another Murloc. Felphin Navigator went from giving your other Murlocs +3/+5 to giving your other Murlocs +5/+5. Then Giant Fin went from 16 attack and 16 health to 20 attack, 20 health. And Primordial Fin, the equipment, went from giving +8 attack to Giant Fin to giving Giant Fin +8 attack and Divine Shield. Then we have a demon in Rathorian. Old, 9 attack, 76 health. New, 11 attack, 76 health. So kept the health but upped the attack a little bit. Hulking Overfiend went from Rush, Deathblow, this attacks the lowest health enemy, to attack the lowest health enemy, Deathblow, attack the lowest health enemy. Then we have Rorka, who she has got a simple speed boost for Orc Onslaught, going from speed 7 to speed 5. And Scabs, he just got a standard stat buff, so 8 attack, 69 health before, now he's 10 attack and 72 health. Tyrion got a stat boost as well. I believe this is what he was in the closed beta from what I heard, so they just kind of reverted. He went from 9 attack and 69 health to 12 attack and 69 health. And then last but not least, we have another Demon Comp user here with Gul'dan. Siphon Life going from speed 7 to speed 6. So these are some really cool changes to see, and I'm happy we're seeing this in the kind of in-between time before the expansion launches in about 3 weeks or so, when I expect more mercenaries to come and shake up the meta a bit more. But I think these are really good changes overall. They may not totally change the meta overnight, and even if they were going to do that, it might take a little bit of time to get there, because obviously a lot of people are going to have to grind out some of these mercenaries if they want to try them and see how they do with these buff stats. I know that's what I'm going to have to do, because I certainly do not have all these ones leveled up with their equipments and abilities and all that kind of stuff. So I'm definitely going to be working on that. But definitely really happy to see this. I'm glad they did this. It's nice seeing trying to put a little bit more support on some of these units that aren't seeing a whole lot of play in the beginning. But that's going to do it for this video. If you'd like to see some more in-depth talking about this with me and my two co-hosts, who are going to remain a mystery until tomorrow, gotta keep some surprises there. But if you want to check that out, hear a little bit more about this and some other stuff regarding Mercenaries PvP, competitive scene, all that kind of stuff, we're going to be talking about all that. And that should hopefully be going live tomorrow, so Friday at noon EST. So definitely tune in for that. Should be a fun time. But until then, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.